in conference play, and we're underway in the second half. San Jose State moving right to left to Princeton Onwas. Onwas has it, looking for a lob underneath, but pulls it back down to Frank Rogers around a screen, fires away for three. It's short, and a physical rebound pulled down by Ryan Wellage right back to the rim, but he was fouled before he turned and got the shot up. And that foul will go against Utah State. It's against Chris Smith. It's just the first team foul, obviously, here in the first half. And the Spartans will have a fresh shot clock and throw it into Cody Schwartz. Jumps up to receive and immediately fires it back into the corner. Schwartz up top in between the circles, quickly contested there by Perkins. Perkins to the right side, and Onwas trying to drive in, and he steps out of play, or maybe dribbled it out of play. And it will be a turnover for San Jose State. One of our officials may have turned an ankle or turned a knee. He's back and ready to go. With a smile on his face. But Spartans come up empty, and now they throw a lob underneath Rector to Jalen Moore, who got behind the defense, couldn't throw it down, but redirected it back in. Tell Jalen Moore was thinking of the glory dunk, but would settle for the pass and the bucket. Meanwhile, a steal. Now Rector brings it up the right side of the floor, and a block from Isaac Thornton. Thornton tries to keep it alive by throwing it off of Rector out of play, but he falls to the floor. The Spartans will have it, though, still, as a result of that tie-up underneath the basket. 47-31, first minute of play in the second half. Aggies leading. Spartans bringing it up with Thornton, backs away from Rector, chest pass left side, catching two hands is Schwartz. Coming up off a up screen was Wellage. Wellage off the dribble, wanting help. Onwas there, ball fakes left, gives it back left side for Thornton. Thornton dribbles it to his left, crosses over, swings it across his body, back for Frank Rogers. Ball fakes left, drives in, tries to scoop one up underneath the basket. It was no good, and then on the second chance, Schwartz was fouled. And that fell against Darius Perkins. Non-shooting foul, I believe. No, it will be a shooting foul. So Schwartz will go to the free throw line. 47-31. And Schwartz's first free throw falls. Cody Schwartz, he said he's been feeling a lot more confident. And that has done a lot of great things for his shooting stroke. And he hits both of his free throws, partly because he's just started to understand the pace of the game. It's really started to slow down for him, he said. That's a good thing as a true freshman. He's one of the better scorers on the team. Crossover around a screen from Moore goes Smith. Smith against Frank Rogers, and Rogers pushed him to the baseline, and Smith stepped out of play. But Chris Smith was sealed off of the paint by Frank Rogers, and now the Spartans will have the ball back. Out comes Isaac Thornton. Dribble handoff on the right side. Up top between the circles. Chest pass to Schwartz. Schwartz looking, trying to lob underneath for Onwas. Is stripped to the ball by Smith. Loose on the floor. Moore recovers. And Moore outlets ahead to Rector. Rector looking. Tries to dribble to his right. Contested by Wellage. Drives against him. Goes right to the rim. Tries to score it. Rolls off the rim. No good. Outlet pass from Rogers to Onwas. Onwas lays it off the glass and down. Onwas was looking for help. It just was not there, so he just went up to the rim, laid it in with a nice finger roll off the glass. 35-47, and trying to answer was Evans. It was no good. Out ahead to Frank Rogers. Frank Rogers catches in one motion, goes right up to hand jam. 13 for Frank Rogers, a 10-point lead for the Aggies, and the Spartans with a 6-0 run in a minute. And now trying to answer on their own, a baseline drive and a throwdown from Chris Smith. And believe it or not, Chris Smith, that was his first points of the game. He's the leading scorer on the Aggies. That tells you how well they distribute the basketball. Onwas, a long pass to Rogers. Catches for three, fires away, no. Rebound Aggies. They come in transition. They have the numbers. Moore trying to post up, leans into the paint, jumps over the top of Wellage for a shot. It was no good. Moore was asking for some contact and a foul, did not get it. And Utah State all of a sudden one of their last five. Did have a large lead though, a 16-point lead. So the Spartans, even though they've on this nice run, can't really cut the lead all that bad. And now Ryan Wellage finds himself wide open for a three ball, and it's good. Ryan Wellage was wide open because all the effort from Isaac Thornton. Dribbled around, drew the defense in, and then got it back to Ryan Wellich. And now a 9-point lead for the Aggies. Moving right is Perkins. Perkins pops up for a 3-ball. It's no good. Long rebound, Onwas. Wisely slows it down. Thornton taking it right side, across the timeline. Chest pass to Schwartz. Looking for the lob. Schwartz was sealed off and cut off by Perkins. Back out to Thornton. 15 seconds to shoot. Thornton, left-hand dribble, poked for a moment by Rector, and now goes on a drive against Rector, and a foul called against Shane Rector against Isaac Thornton. Well, it's a 9-point game now. Aggies 49, San Jose State 40, 15:56 remaining in the second half. Spartans have made a nice run to start off this second half of play, and it's 49-40. A break in the action here from the Event Center. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield Sports. 49-40 our score. Aggies with the lead. They had as large as a 16-point lead. Spartans have been doing a nice job cutting that one down. Here to start off the second half of play. Scott's Seafood is a Bay Area tradition in the heart of the downtown San Jose area. Their American regional cuisine features the freshest seafood, pasta, chicken dishes, and USDA prime dry-aged steaks. Relax with a drink from their full bar and let their professional waitstaff help you choose the perfect wine to complement your meal. Enjoy views of San Jose and the surrounding hills of Silicon Valley from the 6th floor. Their interior is inviting for all occasions, from casual dining to special events, business meeting, or your next time out. That's Scott's Seafood. San Jose State 49, Aggies 49, San Jose State 40, that is. As Onwas throws it in to Ryan Wellich. Wellich touch pass to the free throw line for Rogers. Rogers reverses it back outside of the perimeter for Thornton. Thornton taking it right, fires left side for Onwas, up fake. Wellich now in the corner looking for a 3, but he decides to pull it back down and gives it over to the right side for Schwartz. Touches it into the block on the right side. Jump hook from Frank Rogers, rattles down. Frank Rogers has 15 for the Spartans. Frank Rogers using that jump hook that he has done so often this year, and it's 49-42. Perkins skip pass, catching over as Grayson Moore with a ball fake. Perry rotates it right side for Perkins. He's double teamed back outside for Perry. Drives in and is knocked away of the basketball, out of play, and it will be a Spartan ball. This is about the best series of basketball in the last 5 minutes that San Jose State has played all year. And they have really done a nice job, not only defensively, but getting great looks off of tremendous ball movement to get shots up and down. And it's 49-42. Onwas to Wellich. Wellich open for 3, on its way. No, just short. And that was a good opportunity for a hit, but on the rebound, Perkins knocks it out of play. Perkins tried to grab that rebound, but boy, that was a good look from Ryan Wellich. He had his feet set and everything. Just didn't get it to go. Spartans still with an opportunity here. As Thornton looking to inbound, he has to chuck it all the way in to Cody Schwartz, who jumps up to receive the basketball and pulls it back down along the half-court line. Onwas on the left wing, back to Wellich. Wellich jumps up, gets it back to Thornton in between the circles. Thornton to Onwas, puts it on the floor. 15 seconds to shoot, scoops it back out to Wellich for another 3. This time it's good. Ryan Wellich has 9. And the Spartans have made it a 4-point basketball game. An 8-0 run in 2 minutes. And the Aggies have not scored in 3. Perry now on the right side wing. Frank Rogers contesting against him, crosses over, leaves his feet to get it around the perimeter for a catch and shoot 3 from Perkins. This one is good. Boy, how desperate did they need that one. A lot of contact under the basket. The Aggies 52, the Spartans 45. Here's Wellich to the left side for Onwas. Left-hand dribble, crosses over. Wellich again in between the circles. Back to Thornton on the right side. Coming up to help him was Onwas. They get a bounce pass to him. Angles a shot up. No good. Frank Rogers tries to get the loose ball rebound, and it's wedged against the basket and the rim. So the arrow will point the way of Utah State on that play. Odd play, but can't do anything about it. If you're San Jose State, 7-point game. As the Aggies work it up from left to right. Perkins contested by Thornton. Backs away from him, takes it around a screen. Now one-on-one with Frank Rogers. Jalen Moore to Grayson Moore. Lobs underneath for Jalen Moore and catches, tries to redirect up top and get it down. He was fouled. Boy, just a little too much on that shot. Jalen Moore got it over the rim off the window, but a foul will be called against Princeton Anwas, his first personal, and the first team foul of the second half for the Spartans. 52-45 with 13:35 remaining in the second. Non-shooting foul, so they will inbound baseline right with a fresh shot clock. It is Perkins to Jones. Jones to Moore, poked away. Nice job. Active hands from Princeton Anwas, but collected still by Jalen Moore. And now almost a steal again. Jones gets it back, leaves his feet, and this ball is deflected off of a Spartan out of play. Spartans are thinking, hey, it's me, but no, there's a foul, I believe. No, well, one of the officials put up numbers with his hands. Maybe he's just saying, hey, that's who it's off of. And off the inbound, Jalen Moore takes a three ball and hits it. That's how quickly things can turn around. 19 for Jalen Moore, and it's back to a 10-point advantage for the Aggies. Wellage to Anwas. Receives with a high right hand, looking for help around the screen. Comes Thornton, waiting, looking. 15 seconds to shoot. Schwartz crosses body to the right side. Wellage trying to make a move around Jalen Moore, and he throws it to the block on the right side for Frank Rogers, and a foul called, as guarding against Frank Rogers was Elston Jones, and he put an elbow into the back of Frank, and he's called for the personal foul. The fourth team foul for the Aggies, the first personal for Elston Jones. And so, a 10-point game. Isaac Thornton to inbound. Baseline right side. He gets it in to Princeton Anwas. Anwas taken 6 shots in this game, only 4 points for Princeton. He has not taken a shot from the perimeter all that often in the last 5 games, just 1 here tonight. Wellage into the paint for Rogers. Dribble step, spin move, right to the window, off the glass and down. Frank Rogers, again, using the patience, and he has 17 for the Spartans. Frank Rogers had himself quite a night again for San Jose State, the leading scorer with 17. Isaac Thornton guarding against the pass and catching his Perry. Perry reverses it left side. Perkins lobs it for Moore on the left block. Moore going against Wellage. Moore over the top of Wellage. It's no good. Schwartz with the rebound. He's stripped of the basketball by Jones. Jones spin move in the paint. He's fouled trying to go up. And there will be some free throws coming for the Aggies. And Coach Wojcik is upset. He better be careful here. Ryan Wellage. Elston Jones at the free throw line. 55-47. Free throw up and rattles up and down. Coach Wojcik was furious. He walked away to try and cool himself off, but the official said, and they're still going at it. 56-47. Jones, second free throw, no good, and pulled down by Ryan Wellage. Frank Rogers has 17 points, 7 rebounds for the Mountain West's leading double-double man. Isaac Thornton maneuvers left, spins against Rector, stops off the dribble, stripped to the ball, and he tries to dive back to the floor, tips it up, and Jalen Moore recovers it, breaking away down the near side. Jalen Moore in tight for a two-hand jam. Did he get that down? He's fouled. Did that shot go down? No. Foul goes against Frank Rogers. And we'll have some free throws when we return to the event center. 56-47, 11:47 remaining in the second half. Aggies leading. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield Sports. Back inside the event center, Aggies 56, San Jose State 47, 11:47 remaining here in the second half of play. And San Jose State with 9 turnovers in the game so far, Utah State with 4. And the Aggies, they're not shooting as well here in the second half, 4 of 11 from the field, but still have been able to outpace the Spartans. Spartans have done a nice job climbing back into this game. They made it a real close basketball game here in the second half, but the Aggies pushed forward and maintained a nice, comfortable lead for the most part. Now with a 9-point advantage, the Spartans used a real nice run to get the lead down. One time it was a 10-2 run for the Spartans, but the Aggies leading 56-47. So coming out of the timeout, Jalen Moore goes to the free throw line. Jalen Moore with 19 points to lead all scorers. He's 8 of 12 from the field, and he just put in his 20th point. Jalen Moore averaging 14 per game. He's been a Spartan killer in his Aggie career. Moore's second free throw also good. He's got 21 now. Leads all scorers. It's back to a double-digit lead for the Aggies. 11-point advantage, 58-47. Now comes Ryan Welledge now. Welledge to Schwartz on the left. Schwartz guarded very closely by Perry. Back to Jalen James. James across to the right side for Welledge. And underneath the basket, a foul will be called against the Aggies. Right on the edge of the paint. And that foul goes against Lou Evans. Lou Evans' third personal foul. There are a few players in foul trouble. Evans one of them. Smith for the Aggies also one of them. On the inbound, it is Ryan Welledge. Welledge delayed for a moment. Jalen Moore had no other choice but to leave his feet, and then Ryan Welledge drew the contact to go to the free throw line. Jalen Moore, his second personal foul. The foul trouble for the Spartans is Isaac Thornton with 3, and Frank Rogers with 3. So Welledge finds himself at the line. And Welledge, just a 57% free throw shooter this year. His first is a miss. And Ryan Welledge is a very, very good shooter. And for whatever reason, just has not had that confidence from the free throw line this year. One of those things where he even says he's trying not to think about it, but something that does get in your head. And he missed his second one as it rattled around. Both those were short, hitting off the front of the rim first. So some big misses for the Spartans. 58-47 now. Dribble handoff Perry. Chest pass left side. Catching two hands is Smith. Tries to cross over against Anwas, who's stuck right with him. Spartans into man-to-man. Now driving in. Finger roll lay-in is good from Julian Perry. That's his first basket tonight. And it's a 60-47 lead. All that work the Spartans had done to cut the deficit down, which was ultimately at the high point, 16. Now back to 13 for the Aggies. Welledge receives. Now Jalen James, closely guarded in between the circles, right around to the left side for Anwas. Anwas holding off for a moment, drives into the paint, loses control of the basketball, and a whistle comes in as he tried to recover. The foul goes against Julian Perry. His second personal foul, and the 7th team foul. So Princeton Anwas at the line. Maybe that's one of the advantages here for the Spartans. Try and draw some contact, get to the free throw line. But the Spartans this year, just 66% from the free throw line coming into this game, and another miss. That time a front end of a 1-and-1. And more opportunities gone by from the free throw line for San Jose State. Spinning away from the defense is Rector. Rector around a screen, and then Evans gets it back, throws it to the left side, and Anwas almost stole that ball away, but knocked it out of play. Gary Williams Jr. comes in for Princeton Anwas. .10:32 to play here in the second. Rector gets the inbound from Jalen Moore. Jalen James right on eye-to-eye with Rector, goes around a screen, stops, pivots back to his right, crosses over, delays, guarded by Brandon Clark, who seals him off at the elbow. And now 5 seconds to shoot. Rector off the dribble, looking for some help. Stolen now by Clark. Clark up ahead to Schwartz. Schwartz leading the 2-on-1. Schwartz drives in, and he tries to bank one off the glass. It's no good. Brandon Clark had a hand on it. He got it stripped away by Smith. Smith now out to Evans. Evans in tight. He's blocked by Frank Rogers, but there to clean up is Julian Perry. Boy, that was outstanding work by Frank Rogers to block the initial effort, but even better pursuit from Julian Perry. Jalen James takes it to the baseline, and the Spartans will call for a timeout. 62-47, San Jose State trails this basketball game. 9:52 remaining in the second half. We'll take a break from the event center. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield Sports. Back inside the event center, where the Spartans are trailing the Aggies 62-47. San Jose State has had opportunities in this game, but really put together a nice run to get back into it. But ultimately, the Aggies with a nice response and answering and getting that lead back up to double digits, 62-47. Rick McClyman is our Spartan Realtor and will fulfill all of his fellow Spartans' real estate needs. His knowledge and experience will prove as an asset to all who use his services. Rick can be reached at 408-828-6341. Again, that's Rick McClyman with Keller Williams at 408-828-6341. So, coming out of the timeout, San Jose State will have the basketball. And will be preparing to inbound, baseline left. Here's Gary Williams Jr. to throw it in to Schwartz, who grabs it just as Shane Rector almost got a hand in the way of that pass. Williams, right side, J.C. Hillsman, bounce pass for Clark, touch pass in the corner for Schwartz, a high arcing three, halfway down and out, but rebounded off of a tip by Rogers. Rogers to Schwartz again for another three, this time no good, and the loose ball rebound taken by Perkins. Schwartz with a couple of good looks, but now Smith for a contested three. He is fouled shooting that three-point basket by Brandon Clark, and Smith will go to the free throw line for three. Brandon Clark's first personal foul, the fourth team foul for the Spartans. And on comes Chris Smith. Chris Smith, only 2 points in this game for a player that leads the Aggies in scoring and the highest percentage shooter on the team. Misses his first free throw. Started 43 consecutive games for the Aggies. Second in the Mountain West last year from distance. He hits his second free throw. But also fifth in a single season in Utah State history last year, shooting 47% from beyond the arc. His third free throw also a miss, so he goes 1 of 3 from the line. And out the outlet pass to Gary Williams Jr. Wants to push, goes into the lane, and he is fouled. A little push foul from Shane Rector. That's the 8th team foul against the Aggies, and the Spartans will shoot some free throws. Gary Williams Jr. at the line. Spartans need to see more of that, just trying to push down low, draw some contact, and Gary Williams Jr. goes to the line. Hasn't scored in this game yet, but 88% from the free throw line and another miss. Oy, Spartans have just done a horrible job from the free throw line in this game. This half particularly, they're 2 of 6 from the line, and 2 of those have been front ends of 1-and-1. And now a push foul on the other end of the floor. That's the second personal against Brandon Clark. 5th team foul for the Spartans. This game has been such a game of ebb and flow. Utah State now a 14-2 run in the last 5 minutes, responding to what San Jose State put together in the first part of this half. And now left side, Smith tries to maneuver for a shot, up fake, putting it on the deck was Evans, and Evans underneath an offensive foul. No, excuse me. Ball that was loose and then off of Evans out of play. Well, Spartans need a basket in the worst way on this possession. They trail 63-47. And the life that they once had has been sucked away. J.C. Hillsman surveying, holding the ball low on the floor, gets it over to Williams. Williams puts it on the floor, tries to throw it off the glass and down, and went halfway and then careened out. So they do not get a basket. Henry Bolton III now works it up the side to Taylor. Taylor to the left for Smith, puts it on the floor. Smith drives in, high off the glass. No, not even off the rim, and collected by Schwartz. Schwartz out ahead for Williams. Williams looking, crosses over his dribble, motions a couple of offensive players around for screens. Frank Rogers comes up top. He gives it to Clark on the left side angle with 8:10 to play and 15 seconds to shoot. Here's Rogers now to Hillsman. Hillsman around the screen, had some room, didn't shoot, gives it back to Schwartz. Schwartz to the left side for Clark. Clark throws it underneath for Frank Rogers, who is fouled with 8 seconds to shoot and 8 minutes to play in the second half. That should bring us, no, they will not bring it to a timeout. They'll shoot some free throws here from Frank Rogers. 63-47, Aggie lead. Frank Rogers at the free throw line. Rogers, 17 points, 8 rebounds. He's 2 rebounds away from his 6th triple-double or double-double this year. Spartans are over their last 4 from the field. 1 of their last 6. They have not had a shot from the field in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. And they hit a free throw here. Frank Rogers has 18. If you're thinking about Frank Rogers' season high, that's 32. Back in the Great Alaska Shootout, hits a second free throw as well. A long way to that. Spartans now with a press and Bolton. Bolton works at the left side. Jalen Moore gets it back in a long outlet pass received by Perry. Perry to Bolton. Bolton dribbles it at the half-court logo. Moves it right for Moore. Moore back up top for Evans. Evans ball fakes to his left. Dribble handoff for Smith. Jab step with the right. Backs away from the defense. Now Schwartz contesting him. He throws it underneath for Evans. Trying to be swatted at was J.C. Hilsman, and he did swat that ball away. But a foul called against Brandon Clark as he hacked underneath the basket. His third personal foul, 63-49. Aggies lead, 7:35 remaining here in the basketball game. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield Sports. 63-49, the lead for the Aggies. 7:35 remaining here in the second half. And if you're watching on the Mountain West Digital Network, you may have seen during the last break a view of one of the fans in attendance, and that was Anthony Sadler. And if you're unfamiliar with that name, he was one of 3 Americans on the train from Amsterdam to Paris earlier this year that was attacked, and he, along with those 2 other Americans, helped stop that attack. And he was awarded France's highest honor in doing so. So Anthony Sadler in attendance. He stood up for a brief moment, very humbly bowed his head as the crowd here at the Event Center gave him a standing ovation. But Sadler in attendance. What a great story of heroism that was. Those 3 Americans on that train. Meanwhile, a couple of free throws hit from Lou Evans to extend the Aggie lead, 65-49. Here's J.C. Hilsman trying to move against his defender, and he drives in. A hard shot off the window at a high angle for J.C. Hilsman, and he gets it to fall. J.C. with his first basket this evening. That's what he can do. He can really wow with his athleticism. And now Perry putting it on the deck. High off the glass, and he gets it to fall. Julian Perry with 6. And out come the Spartans' long transition pass. Schwartz grabbed it for a moment, went right through his hands, and then off of Perry, a brief moment out of play. And Schwartz almost lost that ball out of play, but Perry just barely touched it out of play. The Spartans will inbound with Brandon Clark. Clark to Hilsman. Hilsman dribbles it to his right around a screen. Catches for a moment. Stops at the elbow on the right side. They'll get it back out to the short corner for Brandon Clark around to Schwartz on the perimeter. Toss pass into the block and a jump step around. A nice hook shot from Frank Rogers is good. Frank Rogers with 21 for the Spartans. And it's 67-53 with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Jalen Moore, dribble handoff for Perry. Open for a high arcing 3, and he buries it. Aggies will not stop shooting the basketball. They are a tremendous shooting team. 49% in this game. They've hit 11 threes. They're 11 of 18. J.C. Hilsman trying to respond. He gets it out off a tipped pass to Cody Schwartz for 3. It's good. Cody Schwartz has 12. That ball came off a tip, but Cody Schwartz was not phased at all. Just right in rhythm. Fired away and answered the 3 ball. 70-56. Perry, right-hand dribble, out to Moore. Moore in tight on the free throw line, rotating up from the perimeter is Evans. Back to Perry, crosses over, step back for another high arcing 3. This is a back iron miss, and it goes up over the top of the backboard for Spartan basketball. If you're San Jose State, just got to keep grinding here. And the Aggies have just been hitting shots. San Jose State, they're 41% from the field. They're 7 of 9 from three-point distance. The Aggies have just been outstanding in this game shooting the basketball. Hard pass to Frank Rogers, right down the lane he comes with some finesse underneath the basket, lays it in with the left hand. 23 for Frank. And Jalen Moore to Rector. Scoop pass to Moore, shovels it across on a dribble handoff to Perry. On the floor, tries to go right over the top of Brandon Clark, and he somehow weaved through, split the defense, and dropped in the runner. Julian Perry is taken over in the last 3 minutes. He has 11 points. Clark posts up. Frank Rogers looking. Outlet pass to Schwartz again. Open for three. It's no good. Ryan Wellage with the rebound. Right back to the rim. He tries to go. That shot blocked. Tipped up into the air. Grabbed by Rogers. Rogers with 25 seconds to shoot. And Rogers will just give it back out to Schwartz. Now Schwartz tries to shield off. One man spins into the lane and gets a shot up, but not down as he's fouled. That foul against Julian Perry. And Cody Schwartz at the free throw line. 4:53 remaining in regulation. 72-58. And some big free throws from Cody Schwartz, and it's a miss. Spartans are 4 of 9 from the free throw line this half. Not saying you have to hit all of them, but in this game, the Spartans are 9 of 16. And the second one is good from Cody Schwartz. Schwartz with 13. Most of those coming in the first half. Perkins to the left. They rotate it back for Moore. Pump fake, and now cutting in. Shane Rector receives the bounce pass, and right to the rim he goes with a right-hand lay-in, 74-59. J.C. Hilsman accelerates and dribbles the handoff, exchanges with Anwaz. Held it for a moment, between the leg dribble, and now puts it on the deck and drives in, is stripped of the ball and tipped up out of play off of an Aggie player with 4:23 remaining in the basketball game. 74-59. Spartans have never led this game. 17-point lead was the largest for Utah State. Wellage receives the elbow, spins away, gets it back up to Anwaz. Chest pass left side for Hilsman. Hilsman fires underneath into the paint. It's Rogers finding the open Wellage for three. It was offline to the right side of the rim and rebounded by the Aggies. Now with 4 minutes to play in the basketball game. Rector, right-hand feed to the left for Lou Evans. Evans out to Perkins. Perkins loosely guarded by Hilsman, who comes up now to contest on a bounce pass back to Rector. At the logo, walks it left side, stops, crosses over, pulls up on the elbow left side for the jumper. It's no good. Long rebound grabbed by Frank Rogers. Out ahead to Anwas, who had to spin to receive it. Turns it out to his left side, stops, dribbles around, waits for a screen, now down the lane, and a foul called before the shot taken. Against the Aggies, 74-59, another break in the action here from the Event Center. 3:33 remaining in the basketball game. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield Sports. Back inside the Event Center, 74-59. Aggies leading here on the opening night in Mountain West Conference play. 3:33 remaining in the second half here tonight. The game isn't about the stats or the scoreboard. It's about the fans, the fun, and the excitement of it all. Feel the excitement of game day every day in a Nissan. Proud supporter of college athletics. Choose shopnissan.com for great offers on America's most exciting lineup. Innovation that excites. So the Spartans down 74-59. Spartans are 10 of 17 from the free throw line in this game, 58%. Also, when you consider that the Spartans missed 2 of their front-end 1-and-1 opportunities, that has hurt, but it hasn't been the ultimate factor for the Spartans. They have done a nice job keeping possession of the basketball, only 9 turnovers in this game. Anwaz at the line, his first is no good, and the shooting woes from the free throw line continue. Spartans were 5 of 7 in the first half. They're now just 5 of 11 from the free throw line in the second half, and the second free throw from Anwas is good. It's not like even if the Spartans hit all of their free throws, it would be a tie game, but still, it would be a difference maker as Brandon Clark tries to go up on the long outlet pass to Grayson Moore to contest the two-hand jam. He does. It was no good, but he did commit the foul, and that was the 4th personal foul for Brandon Clark in this game. A 14-point advantage for the Aggies with just about 3.5 to play. So Grayson Moore goes to the free throw line. Grayson Moore, who had 10 quick points in the first half, yet to score in the second, but there is his first. And meanwhile, the Aggies from the free throw line, they're now 14 of 19. Both teams have shot the same amount from the line. The Aggies converting on 3 more tries, make it 4 as Grayson Moore hits his second. Gary Williams Jr. comes back in for Princeton Onwas, and Brandon Clark will stay out there with 4 personal fouls. He is out there, and also Shane Rector out there with 4 personals for the Aggies. J.C. Hilsman working the point guard position, and Hilsman maneuvers it to the right side for Gary Williams Jr., who's playing the 2 guard now at this point. Gary Williams Jr. works it back outside for Hilsman, dribbles left of a screen from Wellage. 3 minutes to play in the game. Wellage to the right side. Wellage at the angle, lobs it for Frank Rogers. Frank outside for Hilsman, in motion for 3, and it's good. J.C. Hilsman, he is a very, very good 3-ball shooter. When he has the opportunity, he's just shooting 23% from beyond the arc this year, but been really feeling it as of late from the perimeter. And it makes it a 13-point game with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Jalen Moore, dribble handoff to Grayson Moore. Grayson Moore chest pass to the right side, receiving as Perkins, putting it on the floor, going against Wellage, and he traveled with the basketball. Spartans with a nice defensive stop there. That's all you can ask for at this point. 2 minutes and 31 seconds left. Spartans still have a little bit of time here. Got to work quick, got to grind, got to get some baskets and get some stops. Wellage for Brandon Clark. Looking for J.C. Hilsman, can't find him there, so Gary Williams Jr. gets it back. Williams with the crossover, behind the back dribble, over to Hilsman again. Hilsman works it farther into the corner for Wellage. Wellage dribbles in, back out for Frank Rogers. Up fake, 9 seconds to shoot for Frank. In tight for Brandon Clark, who is fouled on the catch. And Brandon Clark will go to the free throw line. That'll be on Grayson Moore. 76-63. Grayson Moore's second personal foul. And Brandon Clark at the line. Brandon Clark just a couple of points in the first half. But he's also 56% from the free throw line this year, and Brandon Clark hits his first. The Aggies will bring Smith back in, Chris Smith, and Grayson Moore will take a seat. Brandon Clark, second free throw, also good. Those were confident strokes right there from Brandon Clark. Spartans with the press. Meanwhile, failed to mention, but Frank Rogers got his 10th rebound, so that's his 6th double-double of the year for Frank, 23 and 10 right now. And a block from Frank Rogers as well on the other end of the floor. Out comes Williams. Williams, head fake, scoops it back to Wellage, drives in on the baseline, throws it off the window. It's no good, tipped up into the air, and a foul on the rebound. Lou Evans with the foul, and Brandon Clark can make it a single-digit game. Spartans have been great in spurts tonight, but have been ice cold in others. And Utah State has used those cold spurts to engineer great runs in this game. Brandon Clark hits the free throw. He has 5. 76-66. And Brandon Clark, second free throw, short, rims out, rebound Jalen Moore. The Spartans could have made it single digits, but Jalen Moore now hands off to Perry. Perry chest pass left side, and receiving is Smith. Smith guarded by Williams, contested with a right arm, and now he gives it back to Rector. Behind the back dribble, 15 seconds to shoot, bounce pass outside, and a foul. Was that trailing the play? Yeah, that was on Brandon Clark, which will be his 5th personal foul. 5th personal foul for Clark, so he will come out. Coach Wojcik, who will he send back in? He will send Cody Schwartz in. Brandon Clark comes out of the game. He fouls out with 5 points, 4 rebounds in this game. He was 1 of 2 from the field. Brandon Clark talking it over with Coach Wojcik. But he will be done for the night. First free throw is good, and the second is no good from Rector. Spartans want to push. Hilsman brings it across the timeline, hits the brakes, Fires a pass underneath. It's stolen away by Jalen Moore, and a double dribble from Jalen Moore. JC really wanted to force something there, and because he wanted to do that, he made a pass that was probably not the best choice. 77-66. With 80 seconds to play. Hilsman on the right to Williams. Williams looking, motioning. Welledge gets it back. Down 11. Welledge skip pass to Frank Rogers. Up fake, gives it back out to Cody Schwartz now for a 3-ball that's good, but it's a no basket and a travel called against Cody Schwartz. Well, that was the basket the Spartans needed, but just a few seconds too late after the travel. Now under a minute to play, and Rector holds the ball at half court. Gary Williams trying to hold against him. Rector drives, shielded off by Williams. Now an up fake from Jalen Moore from the elbow. Moore right to the rim. It's no good. Tipped back up and down by Lou Evans. 38 seconds to play. 79-66. Hilsman wide open for 3. It's good from the right side. J.C. Hilsman buries that basket and makes it a 10-point game with 33 seconds to play, and Coach Wojcik calls for a 30-second timeout in a 79-69 game. Well, if you tuned in during the halftime show, mentioned that the San Jose State women's basketball team got a win tonight, 86-74. 4 players in double figures. Des Ramos with 24 for the Spartans in that game, and they won it 86-74 on the road. That's not an easy place to get a win. And Utah State, San Jose State, Spartans got their first conference win of the year and their first conference game of the year. Nice job by the Spartans. Just their 3rd win of the season. Utah State falls to 5-7 overall. Back to action here is the Aggies bringing it up the floor, and Ryan Welledge will reach out to foul Shane Rector. Rector, the best free throw shooter on the team at 83% coming into this game, and he will go to the free throw line with 31 seconds remaining in this one. Spartans will not give up at any point in time. Even though this game all but well in hand, Rector misses the free throw. Schwartz with the rebound. And Schwartz quickly out to Ryan Welledge. Welledge driving against Jalen Moore, leaves his feet, banks it off the glass and down. Ryan Welledge has 10, and another foul, for this time from Frank Rogers. Spartans will not give up. They're now down by 8. The Spartans need some free throw misses. That's what it comes down to here. Chris Smith at the line. 71% from the line, and Coach Wojcik wants another timeout. And they will take their full timeout here. We'll keep it right here in an 8-point game with 23 seconds to play from the Event Center, an opening conference game. Each week, Marrow West Credit Union highlights a significant moment in Spartan history. On November 20th, 2010, Adrian Oliver led the Spartans to a 75-72 victory over Oregon, which was the first time that San Jose State had beaten a Pac-12 team since 1992. This moment in Spartans history is brought to you by Marrow West Credit Union. Make the move to Marrow West. That was a big win for that team that year. On their way to a CBI opportunity. Lost to Creighton ultimately that season. This is the 77th meeting between the two schools, Utah State and San Jose State. Utah State having a 55-21 advantage. They won the last 15 in this series, and 22 of 23 dating back to the 05-06 season. Spartans' last win in the series came in February of 2008. And now Smith, with a couple of free throws upcoming, can make it a double-digit lead if he hits both of them. Smith lining up his first, 71% from the line this year, and he misses. Well, Spartans need another one. Badly. A glimmer of hope if they get a miss. But still something. And they do not as it rolls in as a shooter roll. So really a 3-possession game with 23 seconds. Gary Williams Jr. waiting to pick up the ball, and he does. Williams drives it right, pulls up for a high arcing three. It's no good and grabbed by Grayson Moore, and Moore is not fouled. So Jalen Moore will bring it up the floor, and he will just dribble this one out. 80-71 our score with a few seconds left. Jalen Moore holds it at half court, and that will do it from the Event Center in the conference opener here this year. A 9-point victory for the Aggies of Utah State as they improve to 9-3 overall this season. San Jose State falls to 5-8 this year and 0-1 in Mountain West Conference play. 80-71 the final score. I'd like to thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast and invite you to stay tuned for the post-game show, which will follow shortly here on Stretch Internet. And if you're watching on the Mountain West Digital Network, you can switch over to the post-game video press conference, which will follow shortly as well. Once again, the final score, 80-71. Thank you so much for tuning in. Post-game show coming up. You're listening to Spartan Basketball from Learfield Sports.